What good, YouTube? And welcome to the house. Boy, does it feel good to be back. I was out sick with really serious sinus and a bit of a headache, and I finally got my first workout out yesterday. Feels so good to work out and burn some of those holiday calories after letting them settle in. Always take care of yourself first. You are the greatest investment you can make, but not a life advice channel. Let's go ahead and get into today's market watch, which waits for no man, woman, child, duelist at all. Halka Fibrax getting bought out, and I gotta say, with today's market watch, we have like 2 to 3 market watches worth of information to cram in here, and the Discord has been super helpful, helping me keep up with everything that has happened. So Hulk is almost out of ultra rares once again, which leads me to stare at the ultimate rare as probably the better buy, and I guess people are hoping this time, because it's really earlier than ever that people are going in, that the ban list will somehow clear the way after all the hype for Cupid pitch and those kinds of things that happened earlier. So taking into consideration banlist speculation, I suppose, of actually helping instead of hurting Hulk for the first ever time, there are a couple low listings before he is quickly $50 here on the front page, which again leads me to say the one that will lose less value in the roller coaster should anything happen will likely be the ultimate rare if you are going one way or the other. Elder Entity, it has the gold rare bought out now to the tune of $10, and the super going even further beyond because people just don't like playing those gold rares. I don't blame you at all, depending on what your deck looks like and which version you go for. I typically go for the cheaper card, which a lot of people seem to have now followed in on. Dogmatica is just so strong. A lot of people assuming that, well, it has some ban list armor thanks to the Albaz Strike structure deck, right? They'll keep everything around till then. I don't necessarily think that's the case, but we will see how the January ban list plays out. Again, just so many people going strong into this. Usually we see this kind of behavior towards the ban list that happens later, like towards March, and people going strong in February, but earlier than ever, people just getting excited for these in-person events, getting excited for the Forbidden and Limited list, really enjoying this format and hoping to carve out the problems and go into a new format, or maybe a mass change. I don't know. Celine, Queen of the Master Magicians, well, Sky Strikers just got a lot of news, and she is now at an all-time high of $30+ on the market, quickly 40 right now. Dual Overload really getting slammed here between Hulk, people going in for these kinds of cards. Also, there's Pendulums. Pendulums have been getting a lot of news for their deck, and I guess general typing of a mechanic, but Pendulum Duelists also heavily rely on Celine through their routes in tandem with those Sky Striker players. Winged Dragon of Raw Sphere Mode, I guess we're bowling for breaking boards. It's getting bought out for like every freaking single version once again. The original Ultra is probably what I would suggest having long term, and it's still somewhat affordable, under $20, not too far ahead of the others as people go for, you know, the Dual Power Ultra or the Circuit Break Super. I definitely would be going Ultra over Super, but they're completely disappearing from the market at this point. Just so few listings. Red Eyes Dark Dragoon back over $100. This one happened like Christmas Day or the day after. The day I got sick, pretty much somebody had let me know, and I was like, oh, so many cards to cover coming up. The Ultra Rare going this strong into the list. It has armor thanks to the Starlight Rare, and, you know, the Albaz Strike structure is going to be making it. I have heard so many arguments. This structure deck's overhyped. This structure deck's underhyped. People don't really know how this is going to turn out. Well, that's true. Often something comes to the TCG and can act differently than the OCG, like Dragoon did initially, but the Starlight Dragoon has finally curved off. Blaze it. We've seen a lot of listings around 420, and with the Ultra being 100, it is very interesting. How will this continue to act in the future? Will Verte go away and it only be played through certain decks that are going to utilize it in such a way that they're making it like V-Dub does, or how the Alba Strike does, without needing Verte? I think Verte's here for this next list, though. It just got reprinted as top 5 cards in a set that's getting waived, Maximum Gold Eldorado, but again, ban Banlist are always speculations. Bahamut Shark, this is one of those I told you so. Team Sam, I told you. Sharks as an engine have just been so crazy, and Bahamut bringing out Toad with the greatest of ease, people going like crazy in the Bahamuts. Yeah, this was easy buyout fodder with the gold rare spiking real hard, the supers from OTS packs almost gone, and the original secrets heading towards freaking $30. Apollosa only has 3 total printings, but the printings were bam bam when they did happen around, the 2010s, as well as Max Gold, back to back, really draining value for a good time. Now people are after the Alter Art is the lowest, the Ultra from the 10s is 20, and the Secret Rare Rising, all super low on quantities. Let's actually check in and see how quick it does go up from there. Quite a few around 20 on the front page, luckily. But yeah, just be aware, the cards from the 2020 Megatons, we covered this before, how they continue to rise and go crazier. Fusion Destiny being one of them, of course, as that engine hasn't really budged. Masquerena finally got another reprint along with Extrav, though, and the lower end of the 10s, like Cherubini of A-Bomb, they've done nothing but go up slowly. And Neos Fusion in there. Evenly matched. We've talked about this way too many times, but it's just consistently continue to go up on every single version right now. Just going absolutely crazy. And now the Unlim secrets are near 40 with one lister. 0% feedback, but quite a few sales at that $30 mark. Just tons of them lining up at 40 now. Predaplants have had a ton of buyouts, and as I've noticed, do be careful with these if you're taking part in them, because Legendary Duel Season 3 was announced, but this is all the way out in June. People are getting super hyped around the Predaplant cards, which will still take a while to get on over here. And then June's going to kind of come right in time. I do think Legendary Duel Season 3 will be looking at the Predaplant cards with Konami having known this kind of support would come out instead of trying to hold out on it. But people are hoping that this card or that card is missed, and this card's crazy, right? Special summon a Predaplant from your hand. Then it self-replaces by adding a Predaplant from your deck, except for this card. And then the rest of the turn, you can't special summon monsters except fusion monsters only, but you get all this advantage, and that's the rest of the turn. You can do things before. I get it. This card reads pretty insane. Like, it's really, really big advantage enabling stuff when you're looking at the new Predaplant cards and people are getting hyped on that deck. But again, remember, Legendary Duelist Season 3 is a thing that will be coming in June. And speaking of that, it's the very last day, I believe, for the sale over at Gamer's Choice. Actually losing track of the days, but I know that the 31st around the midnight Eastern is exactly when this should be going off. Code HOLIDAY10, not code What's Good 10. So weird to say another code. Holiday 10 is 10% off and supports the channel directly on anything over at Gamer's Choice. But I specifically highlighted the Legendary Duelist Season 3 displays here just because I wanted to show that you have 8 different per display. There's 6 displays within the case, and that knocks it down to almost $10 shipped to your front door per display there. Really freaking awesome to see these low prices on such a bulky product. Magical Meltdown and Alistair both up in price and lower on quantities. Magical Meltdown is almost off the market for certain versions. People definitely want to play the most hollowed out secret rare. And then Alistair, this is because Invocation got reprinted, and now these are, in some fashion, harder to get than current Invocation. So yeah, just the Invoked engine in general staying expensive, and also Raijin getting buyouts. I mean, it's a prime instant fusion target to Droll and Locks heavy in the format, which we'll cover later. But yeah, the Battles of Legend one getting bought out, as well as the Secret Rare, just something to keep your eye on. The Secret's barely ahead of the Ultra at this point, so if you've been waiting to get the Secret, maybe do that sooner than later. You can see the Unlim is a lot more available than the first edition, though, which jumps up there. Sylvan's had a buyout. Past format hype, Time Wizard format hype, something else hype, let me know in the comment section down below. But Hermitry and Martial Leaf getting buyouts here. I remember this happening before too and covering it. I just can't for the life of me pin the dart to the dartboard. Let me know why these are seeing buyouts here heading into 2022. Fallen of Albaz, when I actually did my last stream, this guy was bought out to the point of 40 and is falling back out. This has so many hype buyouts for max rarity, it's crazy. Everyone's going to want to be playing this deck. calm down just a little and test before you invest. But yeah, just crazy points of buyouts and then coolings and buyouts and coolings. You can even see some people spending up to $50 each on this card Christmas Day. Oh, yikes. Shizuku is up even further for the secret rare version because the super and secret are the only printings of this. As Sky Strikers had their final card revealed, a lot of the cards went a bit crazy, but this is one to note as you're just trying to access any version of her. Widow Anchor also going crazy, and then the highest rarity versions going up there. Link Spider Ultimate Rares trying to get away from that Nibiru token in fashion. It is going way up in price here. Let me know if there's another reason besides Nibiru tokens. And yeah, the other versions of this extremely low on quantity, so you might want to do that sooner than later using that TCG player link in the description down below, costing you nothing extra to support the channel directly for the cards you'd already be buying. Cosmic Cyclone Ultimate Rares are now down to 7 listings, double, triple down buyouts happening on this, as you can just see the graph. And yeah, it's kind of crazy. A lot of people, though, choosing this as their version of Spell and Trap Destruction. I remember this sitting at 20 to 30 forever because everyone was calling it ugly, and I always thought, it's kind of neat. Wish I put my wallet where my thoughts were versus the market at the time, but who doesn't wish they could go back like that? And then you have the secret rares, also extremely low on quantity. The Mega Pack version has been rising for some time now. Pot of Desires Collector Rare getting an interesting buyout. The Unlims are now 100 stable, and the first edition's rising up to 140 versus this graph. A lot of people choosing this over the ulti is interesting, with Toon Chaos being such a legendary introduction to collector rares, almost everything since being letdowns besides King's Copium. Hopefully we have Ancient Guardians. No, not Ancient Guardians. Ancient Guardians was terrible. Grand Creators doing a little something something. Hopefully we can get some nice collector rares, you know, over there. That would be great, wouldn't it? And then finally, Droll and Lockbird. Every single version still super low in quantities, up in price. This is one of the hand traps defining the format right here. And the ultimate rare is still trailing upwards slowly along with that. So be aware that if you have Droll and Lockbird out of, say, a Structure Deck, Gold Series, etc., they're all pretty darn good the price if you're not playing them for whatever reason right now. That being said, thanks for watching today's Market Watch. Sorry if it's a little bit of a slower pacing getting back into things. Not 100% after last night's workout. I did a long workout and I'm pretty darn sore, but it feels good to be back. I'll see you on bonus stream tonight. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe if you haven't already. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed the conversation. Let me know what you think about how crazy the market is heading out the year. Never seen anything like this early. Used to, it was February, started to move towards January. Now, end of December, people just trying to get ahead of things, and people's tax returns are just that hype for these in-person events. Again, 100 people scrambling for something on the market versus low quantities can cause really insane things, and it could be those in-person regionals as well that were announced. If you haven't seen those, they're up on the site.